Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. So my name is Angela Herlock. I need to stand away from the. My name is Angela Herlock, and I'm the Executive Director of Parisian Associates. It is so good to see so many people here. How many people have been involved with the New Communities Program since it was an initiative in 2000? Oh, great. There's a lot of hands out there. Okay. How many people were in the first couple of rounds, which happened around 2005, 2007, 2000? What if you came online in the last 5 years? Raise your hand. Okay, all right, great. Well, I think the most key part is that many of us have been working with the New Communities Program for quite a number of years. And there's many, many things that have been accomplished. If you've actually been looking at the spreadsheet that was wonderfully put together by this awesome team of ladies here who will be speaking tonight, you will see all the wonderful things that have gone into that and all the hard work that we as a collaborative have done in South Chicago. So I just want to welcome you here tonight as we talk about that and as we not only give accolades, but just really come to appreciate all the things that we've accomplished. Because sometimes when we're working in things, we forget that there's progress. We kind of just do everything every day and we forget that there's so much that has been accomplished. And so this is a night to really not only just say, hey, look at what we've done, but to actually continue to say, hey, look at what needs to be done as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Jackie Samuels, our awesome New Community Program Director, and she's going to take it over here.
Thank you. I was in a delegation mode. Thank you all so much for coming out here. It's just, it's just overwhelming. And when I look at the sheet of all the programs that we did, because I think when Angela hired me, she only said 40 programs in the project. And I stopped counting at 80. So, and as you look at some of them, it might look like it's one project, but it really did spill out to multiple projects within that. And as you read throughout the night, you might have thoughts or questions or something, and we will have opportunity for comments. But if you would like to just put some comments and feedback on the little sticky notes that are on your tables and post it right there on the back, it would be just really wonderful. That helps for us to kind of even document some of the thoughts as we move forward in the community. Another thing that I just thought I'd do, I just sort of raided my office and Grace's office and just picked a couple of NCP memorabilia. And, if you have some time, you might want to go over to the corner and just look at some of the things and some of the people. I think when we started, Grace, because you have to remember Angela is, she's the Via Guadalupe and she's Claretian Associates. But Grace and I were like the only two full-time employees at Claretian Associates when we started. And I think, how many people do we have now? About
almost 100.
Almost 100. Wow. Almost 100 people. And it's a lot. And, like some of the other things that happens with NCP, community-wide, is like, how do you do this thing? Okay, they pick somebody to be a lead agency because of what, and that's kind of hard, to receive. You're trying to figure out, how is this happening? What does that mean for me as a community member, as a stakeholder? And, I just want to say, we did not do all the work, and you're going to see that tonight. You're going to see there's going to be so many organizations that contributed to this entire process, and you all should really just applaud yourselves on that because, this is a collaborative effort, and it's about community working together and what a community can do when we do work together. So I'm going to, because I could just keep talking on, and I also have to say, Grace and I might get a little misty on this too at some point in time too, because this is a lot of great memories too. So I'm going to let Grace get started and introduce some of the first processes.
Okay,
Sorry.
again, thank you everyone for being here. I was just telling someone that I'm truly happy that I still see faces here from the beginning of NCP and even probably before that, since, you know, since I've been around in 2004, Angela 2012. She was here before me, but definitely very happy, and I look forward to another 5 years, another 10 years, right? So again, thank you. I'm really excited about this first clip. Me and Jackie, we're given the opportunity to prepare to showcase South Chicago. Okay, if y'all remember, there was a time when Chicago was trying to get the Olympics. Who was excited about that? Okay, maybe it was just us. Yeah. So, but we were definitely excited, regardless of where it was going to take us. It's about giving the community that you live in, that you work in, an identity. You know there was a history. How do we showcase that, right? So we were given an opportunity to do that during throughout tours. We did an amazing slideshow that people can use right now that's available on YouTube. And I'm very happy that I'll be able to show it for you all next, okay? Okay, so sorry about that, everybody. We're working on that. We got it. It's coming. But next, if you all have an agenda, we do have a portion called testimonials. We are inviting organizations that had the opportunity to partner with us to possibly even get grant funding, seed funding for projects, programs, but also maybe in the spirit of collaboration and showing support. We're inviting you all, if you can give us in a minute, because it is time sensitive. We're trying to respect the schedule. We're trying to. If you wanted to share your story about how this partnership, where it's taken you and how it's helped you. You know, maybe you individually or as an organization. So we did ask some organizations, if you are here, if you wanted to share that. Brenda, US. Just go ahead, you can come up.
You might regret that once I get started. No, I know I only have 3 minutes, so that's why I took notes, because I could be up here for hours. Claritians Associates to me is my angels watching over me. I had a dream of starting a non-for-profit performing arts program for children when I was struck by breast cancer. My dream was put on hold, but as soon as I got better, the dream was on. It's funny how a devastating illness will make life more precious and the will to get things done. Now, I was in partnership with a former employee. I had retired from the Park District after 30 years of service, and I saw a need I wanted to fill. You see, I grew up in the Park District as a child, and I saw the Park District not offering the same programs I had privy to, and the cost of the other programs outpriced the kids who needed it. Jackie Samuels invited us to do a holiday workshop for the Arts Attack in South Chicago. It was great, but my partner and I had creative differences and our non-for-profit vanished. In the meantime, I had seen Ernest Brownie Brown and vaudeville tap dancer. He was 94 years old and he was tap dancing sitting down. I thought, that would make a great senior program. Later, Jackie asked me, did I have a program for seniors? Why, yes. Thus began Seniors Tap, the Hoofers Club at the Villa Guadalupe. Before I forget, Jackie gave me information as part of the South Chicago Artists Coalition about the City Neighborhood Arts Program grant. I had never applied for a grant before, and I thought, do they even give grants to seniors? I applied, and well, 5 or 6 grants later, well, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Speaking of new tricks, I was also sent to a boot camp with the Institute of Arts Entrepreneurship through Claritians. After the boot camp, I attended courses at the IAE. Let me tell you, I knew my gift as a dancer, but I learned so much more about the mechanics of marketing, budgeting, and customer relationships. I have changed entirely. I am working social media more than my children. And remember, my nonprofit dream, well, it's in full swing as Tiny Feet Cultural Arts Company, now at New Sullivan School and Russell Square Park. And Seniors Tap the Hoofers Club is now 6 years old, and we now have 4 sites. We moved from Villa Guadalupe to the South Chicago Senior Center, but we're also at the Inglewood Senior Center, Hamilton Park, and Richmond Park. Did I tell you about the Love Train for Peace? As I said, I could be up here for hours. I don't think things just happen. I think things happen just. I am so grateful to Claritians Associates, Jackie, Angela, and Graciela. You have always been so supportive of me. I would not be where I am today without your support and guidance. You have been a blessing to me, and I will forever be grateful. May God bless you.
Okay, I'm not gonna be able to handle testimony. Okay.
Yeah, that's a hard act to follow. My name is Ulysses. They call me US for short, Ulysses Floyd. I work for the violence prevention program called Ceasefire. We work with youth, 16 to 24, male and female, capable of getting shot or capable of doing a shooting. We work with them with life training skills, anger management, tutoring. We go with them to get them in school if they kicked out. We work with them with substance abuse, mental health issues, whatever they need. We're like social workers, so we work with them whatever they need. But the main thing we do is we teach them conflict resolution, how to resolve conflicts without violence. So that's some of the stuff we do. And since we came to South Chicago in 2010, Ceasefire, we didn't have a full staff until 2012. We work in 2 beats, what we call beats. We work in 422, 423. We work from Yates to Commercial, from 79th to 95th. And we have like 3 outreach workers at one time, and 3 violence interrupters, but our funding has been cut. So we're down to 2 outreach workers and 1 violence interrupters, but my guys are versatile. They can be violence interrupters and outreach workers. And with the blessings of Claritian Associates, we were able to partner with them with the Ceasefire program with Ms. Angela Herlock and Ms. Jackie Samuels. And I think we made a big difference in South Chicago since we've been here. Homicides are down right now. You have to look at our funding. Doesn't allow us to work all year round. We end at the fiscal year, June 30th every year. We may not come back for 5 or 6 months, so we're not out there all the time. But if we were out there all the time, our record would be impeccable, outstanding, because our shootings are down, and regardless of that, we don't work the whole year through. So We had some great accomplishments. I want to say that in the year 2013, in B422, we went 136 days without a shooting or without a homicide. And we have brought high-risk guys, gang members, cliques, crews, right into 9108 Brandon on the second floor of Claretians that mediated gang conflicts or wars, or whatever you want to call them, where guys were dying, getting killed. And right now, we're working on something with 3 groups that have been shooting each other, killing each other. And we're trying to bring in the new year with a peace summit for all the gangs in the South Chicago community and South Shore. As you know, a lot of youths are getting killed over like a jacket, stuff like that. And what we want to do is we want to save lives, give them a chance to, fulfill their dreams and grow up to be doctors, lawyers, whatever they want to be. So that's what we're trying to do with Ceasefire, save lives. So without Claretian Associates, this wouldn't be possible in the South Chicago area. And also, we've done a pretty good job now. They're expanding us to South Shore. So we're having 2 groups in South Shore. I just want to say, I enjoy what I do. I used to be a part of the problem, but now I'm a part of the solution, and I want to give back, and that's why I'm dedicated to what I do, passionate, and I'm out here to help these youths and save lives. Thank you.
Do we have any more testimonials? Don't be shy. Teresa. From Family Rescue. Thank you, Teresa.
Hi, good evening. My name is Teresa Du Bois, and I work with Family Rescue. And I'm just happy that you're doing this tonight, and that Family Rescue has been a proud partner with Claretians, LISC, and NCP over the years. Family Rescue, you don't know, we do domestic violence. We stop domestic violence. It's our mission. Our mission is to eliminate domestic violence and violence within the home, because we think that when we see street violence, the cause of that is home violence. And people learn this stuff, and they can unlearn it. And we personally believe that, and that's part of our mission. So how has Claretians helped us? Well, back in 2010, they gave us a small grant through LISC, and it really was a Kickstarter grant for us, because that helped us leverage some money with Chicago Foundation for Women to do a special project here in South Chicago that would work with survivors of domestic violence beyond abuse. So after the violence is over, helping folks or talking to folks about getting on a different path. So what did that mean, getting on a different path? That meant becoming more self-confident, believing in yourself, but also start dreaming again. And dreaming about employment, dreaming about school, education, training, etc. Through that small grant, we were able to assist 225 survivors. But you know what? It was not just 225 survivors, because those 225 survivors had children. So we wound up impacting over 700 people with that small grant that you gave us, and with what we're able to leverage with Chicago Foundation for Women to do a special project. And you know what? Their project grew. So Family Rescue learned a lot from that empowerment project that we did. So that started a whole another kickstart of work that we did, which was continuing to do work about financial literacy. But you know what? Learning about how victims feel about money, and what money is, and how you have to control it, and what you can do with it, and how that can be important to help you in service, not something to be afraid of. So that helped us kickstart that. It also helped us kickstart putting an employment specialist at our Ridgeland program, who works with folks around career pathing opportunities, so that they can start thinking and dreaming and following those dreams that they forgot about, or maybe were taken away from them when they were young. So we're helping restore that. So through that small grant, That's how you help that grow. Okay? And the other way that Claretians helps us a lot is, we didn't do it this year, but every year we do a community march against domestic violence in October. October is a national month for recognizing domestic violence across this country and the impact that it has. So every year, they've been a supporter of that and getting people out in the community to help us make a difference and show that the community does have power. If we come together, we do. So thank you. Thank you.
Are there any more testimonials? Okay, in the back, Gregory.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory. I'm the Executive Director of Intergenerational Growing Projects. And one of our greatest accomplishments with Jackie and Angela and Gracie was a garden that we had 500 youth on for 8 weeks. It was called Garden Town.
She has some money.
For 8 weeks, we had 500 youth for the summer in one area from all 4 corners of Chicago, not one fight. They created out of 2.5 acres a landscaping that was amazing that they named Garden Town. But the most amazing thing about that was the support from Jackie, Angela, and Gracie and their organization was that these children hadn't committed a crime for 8 weeks. There was no crime in their neighborhood for 8 weeks. And when asked why, they said, because you had us working in the garden, Mr. Gregory. Thank you, Jackie.
Any more? How you doing, Greg?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Deanda, and I'm part of the Safe Passage Program. It's my 2nd year. I'm the base operator, working with Gracie and April. I've come to really appreciate what all the community has come together to do. We know that at Bowen High School, which was one time very violent and very scary, has now become really safe for all the kids, not just them, but for Ella Morales and Immaculate Conception and the community on the whole. We don't let anything get past us, so we can safely say we're doing a good job there. Proud.
Excellent.
Hey, there you go, Gracie.
Thank you, everyone, sorry. I just want to show you this picture before we move on. We did have technical difficulty showing you the showcase that of slides that we put together, really showing the identity of South Chicago. It gives you the history. It gives you what Commercial Avenue really meant to the people, you know, for the last 20, 30 years, really. For a lot of people, it was the downtown. You know, we didn't go to the center, you know, we didn't go to downtown off the lake. No, we went to Commercial Avenue. I went shopping to Three Sisters with my mom. It was the best place ever.
I remember Three Sisters.
It was hot because they had racks of clothes and stuff, and my mom would make me go with her. Those were her happiest times, right? Woolworths, best slice of pizza after Three Sisters. She made me happy and got me my slice. And that's where she got all her sewing needs, because she sews clothes and puts clothes together. So, and then Goldblatt's where we get the curtains, right? So to a lot of people, Commercial Avenue meant so many things. Such a diverse community. We also showcase that in this wonderful slide. This slide is available for you all, and the name of the slide is very simple: Discover South Chicago. Very simple. You can access this, use it to teach your children, use it to teach if you're teachers, for your classroom, use it for new people in your organizations if they don't really know the community. You use it for your new employees. It really gives you a lot of how diverse this community is and how each ethnicity really embraces each other. You know, we are a family. We all do come together. We all do love this community, and we all get together for the Mexican Independence Parade, the Independence Day, you know, for the parade on Commercial Avenue. We all get together. We all get together for the ecumenical services that we have, you know, every year. All the churches collaborate, and we all come together as one people, okay? And so this is a special showcase, and I really encourage you to use it. And we did want to show it to you today, but we did have many difficulties. But we are going to go ahead and move on. Next on the agenda, we do want to invite Tasha or Angela to come speak on Claretians and our housing. So.
All right, we're gonna tag team this because part of the time I've been here and Tasha wasn't, and now Tasha's here and she's handling housing. But how many of you guys are familiar with Casa Kirk that's on the picture here? Okay. How many of you guys knew when it was like just vacant ground? Okay, so I've been here 11 years, and I actually was hired to make sure that this got built. We built this in December of 2005. It houses 29 families. That was after 7 years of working on the project. From that came other projects that developments, and Tasha's going to talk about one of them. But one thing that I just want to leave you guys with is from that also came an impetus for the Victory Center. If you know, that's right across the street. Originally, it was supposed to be something like 40 units, but because we were able to change the location and garner more of that land, it actually turned into 112 units of assisted living and 72 units of independent senior housing. And because of your hard work and the community's hard work, we were able to produce at that time, it was the commissioner for the Department of Aging, and that department no longer exists, but we were able to produce to her over 1,000 signatures that said we needed a senior satellite center. How many of you guys are familiar with the senior satellite center? It's like a senior Y on steroids. So with those 1,000 signatures, we did get the city to agree with us. Yes, we did need a senior satellite center, and in that development, the senior satellite center was actually born. And what some of you guys don't know is that at the time, the whole economy was going crazy. There wasn't a lot of money to do a lot of things. For the very first year of that satellite center, we actually ended up, we being the Via Guadalupe and Claretian Associates together, ended up donating staff to be able to run that center. So now actually the Chicago Department of Senior Services actually runs it. But for the very first year, to help it be successful and to make sure that our seniors were using it and that it was designed and the programs were designed in the ways that our seniors could embrace them, and to make sure people like Brenda Starr got to tap dance there, and Knowledge Hookup got to do the community computer science classes there, and so many of the other groups that are here local got to do their work there and bring their constituents there. It was important to us to be able to, we didn't plan on donating necessarily the staff, but we did for the first year provide the staff to run that. And so now it's been up, I think, 3 or 4 years now. And so that's all impetus. And those were all also parts of green projects. As you know, we've been doing green housing for a while. We've done new homes and that kind of thing. The Victory Center was actually the first LEED building. We are the community partner, although we do not have ownership in it. But it was the first LEED building, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And so it is setting the standard for all the different types of building now. But that standard didn't start with the Victory Center. It started with some of our homes. If you notice, you see solar panels on some of the homes in the area. That's because we have 30 homes that we've built, and 10 of those homes have solar panels on them. And 10 of those homes also have 20 other green features, everything from carpeting that's made from recycled ketchup bottles to highly insulated walls and those types of things. And our latest project, which Tasha will talk about, is our 9100 South Burley, which also continues on our impetus of doing green, but then also takes it another step further with looking at how we can reuse vacant buildings in our neighborhood.
Tasha, take it away.
Hi, this is 9100 South Burley. How many of you remember the before pictures of 9100 South Burley? It was a sore eye on the corner. It didn't represent change. But now as you can see, the after photos, it represents great change. Look at us today. Look at how we celebrate, how we can really represent the South Chicago neighborhood. 91 House South Burley is fully leased. It's 7 units of affordable housing. It features 2 and 3 bedroom units, as you can see, with the washer and dryers you don't see. They come with a washer and dryer stackable inside the unit. Each unit has its own washer and dryer. I want to live there. They have the refrigerator. Everything is brand new, and we have 7 families who are so appreciative of the opportunity to live in a quality, affordable housing. But you have to look at, there's so many other projects that are available for us to do in the South Chicago area. We can just go across the street and look at another development that we may have to put our eyes on, because we're trying to change the face of South Chicago by preserving some of its history of the Weber community. The community room. Oh, I forgot. There's also a community room at 9100 South Burley that we utilize to do our summer internship programs with our youth. We do after-school programs there in the summertime, and a lot of residents also use it for birthday parties and ice cream socials for the church, and also for wedding ceremonies. We've done a lot of things in the community room because it's for the community. Any questions? Thank you.
I do want to invite our next guest, who is the Executive Director of the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce, Dan Lira.
Thank you. To Grace, Angela, and Jackie for having me here today. First of all, do we know where the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce is? Everybody here know where it's at? It's on 8826 South Commercial. And do we know what the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce does? Well, our responsibility is to the economic and business development for Commercial Avenue. That's our responsibility here. We have 2 board members. Angela is our a board member, as well as our commissioner for our SSA. And Joanne Plotko is also a board member, so they're both here at the meeting. What we want to talk about before I go into to the slides here is going off on what Grace had up there before. We were talking about creating an identity for South Chicago that builds connections to our history, our institutions, and each other. That's kind of the same thing that we want to keep at the South Chicago Chamber, is what we're doing going forward and trying to keep the same thoughts of what history is, what commercial was. Like they said before, it was the downtown of South Chicago. How do we bring that back into that same perception? So as you can see, we talk about the early 1800s, early 1900s, that's Commercial Avenue and 87th Street. South Chicago Early Hotel, 1900s. South Chicago Business Districts, Commercial Avenue on 88th Street and 92nd Street, the trolley. Our steelwork, our U.S. Steel Mills, they were the 80s, right? So when we sit on this for a little bit, we look at the chamber as during the 80s, the peak of South Chicago. We had thriving steel mills, we had a thriving commercial district. We talk about Goldblatt's, we talk about the cinemas, the theater shops we had, the ice cream parlors, the restaurants and things like that. But and that was a good time. That was a great time for here. But then we had the closing of the well, those are some of the other stuff too. South Chicago Entertainment, Gaiety's Theater and Ice Cream, Commercial Theater, Steel City Furniture, Goldblatt's. Then we had the Chamber, right? The Chamber's been around since 1924. We're celebrating our 90th year this year. This is Commercial Avenue today with the rainbows, Steel City Furniture still there, Roma's, El Güero. So we have some landscaping on Commercial, trying to beautification of the area. And like we were saying, and then we have Lakeside Development. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about the steel mills closing in the area and what that did to the community and how it took a hit. But at the same time, we sustained a business district for over the past 20 to 30 years. And now we have the promise of Lakeside Development coming. And it's 600 acres of land. For so long, we've looked at that area being vacant, not knowing what's going on, what's going to be developed there. But now with Lakeside Development coming, they have great ideas, and I don't know how many have visited the marketing center over there. If you haven't, go check it out. It's really nice. They've got great ideas. We have a park over there. We have actually 2 parks there. One called Steelworkers Park. We have the new opening of the Lakeshore Drive. So I mean, it's a great area. They've got a lot of ideas from development. One of the ideas that are coming in, breaking ground in next spring, is Mariano's, coming to 87th and Lakeshore Drive. So again, that idea of development in that area, what does that mean to South Chicago and commercial? Besides jobs, yes, that's great. And the other thing is more people to come visit this area. So when we're looking at the idea of more people from other places to come visit South Chicago, that means that's more people that haven't seen Commercial Avenue yet, haven't visited South Chicago. So we want to prepare for that. You know, so it's kind of like, what are we doing here at the Chamber to prepare ourselves for it? I'm the new executive director there. I've been there now for 8 months, and we working with our chamber board and working with a lot of Carishan Associates, a lot of other organizations in the community, is to develop a plan. Which started with creating stronger committees and branding and marketing of Commercial Avenue. One of our committees is policy and finance. We talked about, again, policies and laws of how we can put a plan together, the financial plan to get things and programs off the ground. We have a planning and development committee, which I sit with Angela from Florishan on that committee, which we talk about development. What do we have to do to develop Commercial Avenue and the surrounding area to bring new business here, to get the community to support what we're doing? Out of that, also with the Planning Development Committee, we started a Building Owners Association committee. With that idea is, how are we going to make plans for Commercial Avenue? How are we going to develop Commercial Avenue without the business owner, the building owners that own the properties? So we've actually had four meetings with the building owners, and they're very engaged. They want to be part of what's going on in commercial. They wanted to have information on how they can develop their area to make it more presentable, to get people to come on out, to shop in the area, and to bring new businesses that can complement the businesses that we have there already. We have our security committee, which, as you see, is our last meeting on November 21st. We had the alderman out there, the captain. We had representatives from Ceasefire and Safe Passage, as well as Carishan Associates, and we had our business owners out there. And the idea is, how do we develop an area partnering with the police department, with our own security program, on creating a safe environment for the community? And they shared a lot of ideas, and the security committee is open to the community to come on out to share ideas on how we can, how the police department is working on different programs to create a safe environment in the area. Then we have our special events. This is the fun committee, right? We've had our 79th Annual Educators Awards Banquet, our 90th Anniversary Membership Kickoff, Community Thanksgiving Dinner, our Santa on Commercial. He's coming here again, like he used to visit Goblatz back in the day. He's been out for the past 3 weekends, visiting each location. We've had 30 to 40 kids on an average come out and visit Santa Claus. He'll be at this weekend at T-Mobile and at Steel City Furniture for those that want to bring out the kids. But Special Events Committee is all about just bringing out, making sure that our events that are representing, are promoting our business district, and that they're bringing out the community and saying that we have good things and nice things here in the community. Then our membership committee, it's about creating membership for our business owners and making sure that, and business owners, property owners, and giving them we call it membership has its privileges. And developing a program for the members to say, you know, I want to be part of the chamber, but I want to do more than just get a sticker and put it on my door and say I'm a member of the South Chicago Chamber. That's pretty much what we want to as well. We want to make sure that the members, if you become a member of the chamber, there's value to it. We're working on workshops that help them develop marketing, technology, social media traits, retail, and finance. And also working on how to sponsor events and becoming more part of the special events that we have in commercial. Branding and marketing. We're celebrating our 90 years. This is 90 years for the South Chicago Chamber. If you notice on the district, we have our banners up. They all say, Eat, Shop, Live, Commercial Avenue. They went up the past couple of days, also with the Christmas decorations. That's our branding, Eat, Shop, Live, Commercial Avenue. We also have what we call a Shop Local discount card. If you come out to commercial, you come to the chamber, you can buy a discount card for $20. What it has is 12 different promotions from local business owners like Capri Pizza, Hacienda, Maya's Pizza, C&G Restaurant that give you a different promotion that you can use at each one of these locations, and you can use it all year long. It's good from from this September till next September. And if you went to one place one time a week on each of those and that card, you'd save over $300 over the year. So it's a great discount, and it's also, again, creating local shopping, shop local campaign. Then we have our Holiday Cash Dash. I don't know if anybody's heard of that one. We have flyers up here on the table, and the idea of that is spend money locally during the holidays. If you can spend up to $2,000, and you can get up to 10% of your money back. That's our rebate program that we have on commercial. So just shopping, keeping some of the money local and shop local here on commercial during the holidays. Our plans for 2015, that was 2014's plan that we've been doing, but to keep that going, we have plans for 2015 is, now with that Building Owners Association, is them working on renovating and improvements to their properties so that we can get more people to want to rent or lease their areas during the time. And then informative workshops to help grow businesses. Again, going back to workshops that help with social media, marketing, business development, finance. And then an incubator program. An incubator program helping businesses that have yet the ability to take over a storefront, but at least have an idea of how can I rent a space or get ideas on how to start a business and how to flourish after that. And then hopefully by 2016 with that development is bringing complementary businesses to the existing businesses that are here. So those are our plans here for development. And again, the idea is like what the theme has been. Bringing back South Chicago to when it was the downtown. I mean, bringing back Commercial Avenue to when it was the downtown of South Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. That was a really great opportunity to see what the future of the commercial district looks like and where it's going. As we were doing the quality of life plan, I think that there's just been one organization that has really started from the beginning and has just grown by leaps and bounds over the years. And the irony of it is that they started like right outside of my office, and that was the South Chicago Arts Center. We really saw that there was a need, Creation Associates saw there was a need for the arts in the community, and so Sarah Ward came in and she started doing, projects with kids, and then she moved right down the street here, and just a whole bunch of great things have been happening. So, how you doing? Thank you. I want to bring up William, and he's the newest addition to the staff. And it's so I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Sarah because I don't know where Sarah is tonight. But I hope Sarah is getting just a little bit of rest because she really has a full staff right now. And I'm going to introduce you to William, who is the outreach coordinator. Did I say that?
Community engagement.
Community engagement specialist.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I know it's been a long day. My name is William Estrada. I am the Community Engagement Specialist for South Chicago Art Center, and I've been working with South Chicago Art Center for approximately about 8 years as a teaching artist, and I've been working with them as a consultant for the last 2 years. And right now, actually, my position is as a consultant because I'm actually going to grad school. But as soon as I finish grad school in May, just give me the eye, we'll go on to full-time in my position. And we have an amazing video that has been created to really honor all the work that's been going on at the South Chicago Art Center, but also to really start thinking about the new space that we're going to be in. And I want to show you this right now. So,
I'm excited.
other sisters and brothers in there who hadn't done anything wrong. I started realizing that all the kids that were I was working at juvenile court doing with kids on probation. I would take a kid out of the house that was on probation for some crime. I would look in the house and there'd be 5 other sisters and brothers sitting there who hadn't done anything wrong. I started realizing that all the kids that were doing bad things were getting a lot of attention, and I wanted to start giving attention to the kids that were ignored.
Good afternoon. I see a lot of new faces here. Can I hear your name?
Gustavo.
Jessica, Ruby, Michaela.
My experience with art and success was that it's the first thing someone told me I was really good at, and so that's what I try to do with the kids. I've seen kids' faces where I say they're really good at this. It's like the first time someone's been able to recognize them for something that they do as an individual. That's a positive thing.
Do you want to put a picture on here?
At first, I didn't know that I was a good artist because people didn't used to tell me until I came to the arts and I started drawing. People really liked my artwork.
They learn how to work in groups. They learn how to partner with each other. They learn how to create. They even learn how to use art as their voice in the community.
I have kids that work for me that started in my very first class that are 21.
I was one of the first students here at the Art Center when it opened in 2000. I was 6 years old. Right now, I'm interning for the summer. One of the greatest things I do here is interacting with the kids and helping them. That's like one of my favorite things to do here. Sarah came in to my class one day in high school, and you know, I stood up and I was like, Sarah, it's me. And I let her know, like, I was going to college soon.
There is a feeling in a neighborhood that's poor that kids don't go beyond high school. Sometimes they don't go beyond 8th grade. She wanted to get into college and no one was helping her pursue that.
She genuinely cared if I went to college or not, and a good one. She knows the great potential in me, and she saw it, and she's like, you have to go bigger.
That's what I try to do with the kids, is instill in them that hope that you can do anything if you put your mind into it. You just got to reach out to the people who believe in you.
I have 4 kids in the room here, and they come home every day with a story on how they love the arts. People that's inside that teach them their own class, they really care about the kids in their community, and they teach them the kids respect each other. They learn how to work well with other people.
It's a racially divided community, and so in here we get them working together, we get them interacting, we get them in the garden, we get them thinking more about what it means to transform a neighborhood, what it means to interact and be neighborly, what it means to be civically minded. We think about doing things differently, where people see things and think, someone's been here, someone's made a mark, someone cares about us. That defining moment for the South Chicago Art Center was about in 2006, walking by this old cleaners. It seemed like the perfect place to be more inclusive in the neighborhood. This moment in 2014 now is a time where we are actually poised to make that move. We started with 18 students. Last year we served over 3,000. We're in 19 schools. We're about to move into this beautiful, beautiful facility that's been locked up and boarded up for 5 years. This space allows us to hire the mothers that have wanted to help volunteer and be the welcoming committee. It's more centrally located. It's not where kids have to cross gang lines to get to. It helps our kids and our teens interact with people beyond their block, beyond their schools, beyond their home. And it creates not only a place that's a third place for them, that's theirs, but it also creates a bigger community for them. We've sustained ourselves. We've grown our programs. We've grown our individual donors. We've grown our foundations. We've grown our community support and our partnerships. And not only that, all of that, but we've really changed a lot of young people's lives.
first project I saw Sarah do, she did a wishing tree. She brought an artist and knew how to make paper. And on that paper, they wrote a wish and a dream that they had for themselves and the community.
I wish that it's going to be a place that just transforms so many more lives than we've already transformed. I wish that kids will remember it for the rest of their lives and it will be the place that changed them.
Get teary-eyed. So I remember in 2000 when Sarah went to visit me in Pilsen when I was the associate director of Yollocalli Youth Museum. She came up to me and she said, you know, I want to learn what you're doing here. I want to start this new organization in South Chicago. And I looked at her, I was like, do you understand how much work there is to do? And she's like, yes, you know? And now, 15, 14 years later, I see the amount of work that's been happening, and as I reviewed the quality of life plan, where there was, the goal was to have to be in 4 schools, and Sarah just said that there was 19. There's actually 29 schools that we're in right now, as of right now. I mean, talk about the potential that we've been building in South Chicago. 29 locations. And just schools partnerships. So, and I am so lucky to be the community engagement specialist, which I think I have the most, the job is the most fun, because I actually get to go and talk to the people and build this community with you. So thank you so much. I don't know if anyone has any questions or not, but I would definitely love to meet you and talk to you about what programming we can build together. Thank you.
Man, that is fantastic, and just so you know, they're gonna need your help. You know, they're gonna really want some input, they want some people, some volunteers to actually come in and help out in deciding, you know, like what other additional programs can be used. So it's gonna be a really great addition, you know, to the community. You know, and I also want to say that, I think this really shows what happens when community can come together, because this is really about how we build relationships. And while, you know, they're still working on something there, I'm just gonna kind of move on and talk about even our safety initiatives. That's another example of how we really began working together as a community. There were some issues with some shootings on 87th Street, and it wasn't Claretians. You know, we were the convener. We asked all of you to come to the table and have a serious discussion about what we should do about safety. And so some of the things that came out of that was that, you know, first of all, we couldn't decide whether it was gonna be Ceasefire or the YMCA Youth Street Intervention Program, and we ended up getting both of them. And they've been really working really well. We've built a relationship with the 4th District Police Department, which unfortunately they couldn't be in here tonight because they were doing another project at the 4th District at this evening. And then all of a sudden, there was this grand opportunity through CPS to actually do a Safe Passage program. Well, when we started our Safe Passage program, that was like in 2010, I think it was. The first 2 days of that program, there were shootings. We had 2 shootings, and we were like, oh my goodness, what are we getting into? We started at Bowen High School, and we had 30 community watchers. That grew, and that actually grew even bigger than that, because then we had the opportunity to expand to Corliss High School. And we added on 20 more community watchers. And then we had the opportunity to expand to Burnham Elementary in Jeffrey Manor. and we added 20 more. Well, we just had the opportunity to add, we have 70 community watchers that are outside watching rain or shine in this community, making sure that our kids have safe travel back and forth. And I think, to have something like that is so important because, number one, we're hiring from the community. And we always are having openings that are available. You know why? Because some of these people, they're so great that they're moving into other jobs, so it's becoming a gateway job for a lot of people here in the community. Some of our kids, when we had them in our youth programs and our youth ready programs, actually were hired for Safe Passage, and they became community watchers. Well, even this summer, we had one of our Safe Passage watchers that actually had an opportunity to be a AmeriCorps worker. And from that step, he was offered a position to work at BAM, Becoming a Man, a mentoring program that is at Bowen High School right now. And so, like some of the other watchers have had opportunities where they have been able to become security for some of the schools that they're working with. So, it's like, it's with this glimmer of hope where we think we're just gonna solve one problem. It starts solving a lot of other problems, and it starts talking about how we can do workforce development. It sounds like Grace has got this tourism thing going for you, and so I'm gonna let her play that, okay?
It's a nice video.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Graciela. We want to welcome you to South Chicago, or maybe I should say welcome you back. So many Chicagoans have such a strong connection to South Chicago because they are just one family member removed from working in the steel mill. The U.S. Steel South Works was the backbone of the neighborhood for more than 100 years. The mill made the steel that built the Sears Tower and McCormick Place. The steel age attracted thousands of workers from Eastern Europe and the Deep South. When those workers went on strike in 1919, the mills hired the Mexicans as strikebreakers. At its peak, the mill employed 130,000 workers. When it finally closed in 1992, the neighborhood suffered and families vanished.
Today, South Chicago is transforming into a green and vibrant community. We're capitalizing on our strengths, including our diverse population, thriving business district, strong churches, affordable energy-efficient housing, eclectic arts community, and beautiful parks. South Chicago is so diverse. The people of South Chicago can trace their roots back to Africa, Mexico, Haiti, Croatia, and many other parts of the world. Each group brings its own ancestral flavor to the neighborhood. There are African hair braiding shops, Mexican restaurants, and ethnic groceries in South Chicago. You'll get your flavor of it if you hop on Still Millie, our very own streetcar that runs up and down Commercial Avenue and around the neighborhood.
I shop on Commercial Avenue, where we have many mom-and-pop shops and restaurants too. My earliest memories of Commercial Avenue are shopping with my mother and grandmother at Goldblatt's, Woolworths, which had the best slice of pizza, and Three Sisters, which had the best deals for women's clothing, according to my mom. Now I shop there with my daughter. One of our favorite places on Commercial Avenue is El Potrillo. They have the best homemade ice cream and aguas frescas in the neighborhood.
I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and South Chicago was my downtown. When I was growing up, I remember shopping down Commercial Avenue with my mother too, and my father would take me to buy fried shrimp at Calumet Fisheries on 95th Street. That's the bridge where they shot the Blues Brothers when Jake and Elwood drove across the bridge when he was going up.
From the steeples of Pilgrim Baptist Church, to the National Shrine of St. Jude at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, to the splendor of the stained glass at St. Michael's Church, you can visit us in the spring and experience our ecumenical services and visit these wonderful churches.
Now on the creative side, the arts community is a constant part of the life of South Chicago. We see the arts as building connections between our visions and reality. We use it to connect to our youth, celebrate our culture, and strengthen our relationships with our community and each other. We also see the arts as a way to make peace in the community and within ourselves. The Artist Garden, created by the South Chicago Arts Center, is a respite of art and nature that grew out of a once-abandoned city block.
This is a tomatillo plant. This is a volunteer. We didn't plant it. So they're almost like a weed because there's so many of them. But salsa verde, which is a Mexican salsa, is made from it. So there's a husk, and when you break open the husk, the tomatoes inside. Now, I tried to cook these, and it did not work out for me, but I can tell you the people in this neighborhood love these things. And what they do is they blend them up with onions and garlic, and then they preserve them for the whole winter and eat it all winter long.
The Artist Garden is just one way we celebrate green in South Chicago. If you visit in the spring, you can attend the 10th Ward Green Summit that includes tours of energy-efficient, affordable housing built by Clarice and Associates, or take a class and learn how being green can be economical.
Or you can come anytime to celebrate nature in South Chicago. Nature has always been a big part of this formerly industrialized neighborhood. We play at Bessemer Park, Russell Square, and our crown jewel, Calumet Park, which lies along the lake.
Calumet Park originally was supposed to be just 40 acres, but when the Field House was built in 1924, the park was actually 200 acres. It's so big that you can set up a volleyball net, swim, play on one of our 2 beaches, have a picnic, or just take a walk. And if you come by on Thursday between 11 and 4, you can visit Southeast Chicago Historical Society inside the historic Calumet Park Field House and learn even more about the rich history of our neighborhood.
Thank you so much, and for helping us to get there and get a chance to see it. Thank you so much, William. And you know, one thing you should kind of know about this, I mean, if you've had meetings here in the Villa Guadalupe, you've noticed that there have been some improvements here, and technically our screen and everything is a new enhancement and a new toy for us that we're trying to get adjusted to using, and I'm very grateful to be able to use this. And so this particular project was, it came out of it's amazing how things start connecting. It really came from the Green Summit. We were touring around the community and we realized, man, there's some really great stuff about South Chicago and we need to really talk about it. And so through LISP and DePaul University, they not only trained me and Grace, but Joanne and Kevin, and some other community residents to actually give tours in South Chicago. And so we were very fortunate in which we were actually giving tours for the city of Chicago. And we would bring people in to come and see the community. And so I think as Grace moves on to, just to give you another idea, we also had community heroes that you can see through the New Communities program and through LISP that have helped us over time. Gregory Bratton for his contributions in maintaining our gardens, Peggy Salazar for her in environmental advocacy and activism. We also had Zebedee and Tanya Rivera that, when they were living in the community, they were always that extra hand that we have. And of course, well, Neil Basanko, my gosh, what can I say? He was a really wonderful partner that I'll always treasure and I know so much about in my life. And we also had Al Reyes, and if you know Al Reyes, you know, he's definitely another South Chicago person. And I always loved hearing his stories about the YMCA and what it was like growing up. And then we have Joanne and Kevin. I mean, you know, my gosh, you all that will be just forever heroes here, you know, constantly reminding us of our community and what it's about and our history and documenting it and sharing it with us. We just, love you for it. Heroes forever. These are, this is South Chicago. And so we also have, we have healthy block clubs. We've been meeting with block clubs quarterly. They've actually had their homework set for 2015. We just met recently. And we want to make sure that we pay attention to our block clubs and utilizing them a lot more in the integration of the work that we're doing. And so I really want to quickly go through this, and I know everybody's ready to go, but we did have a research team that came in through LIST. They actually did research on all the new community programs throughout the city of Chicago, and there's 16 of them. And MDRC is from New York and from Oakland, California. And the purpose of the research was to understand how relationships among community groups contribute to neighborhood improvement and work together to achieve a common goal. So there were 3 things that they looked at. They looked at communication, coordination, and collaboration. Now, when you looked at communication, you would also look at communication represented stakeholders that attended meetings, they had conversations, they might email. You might be really familiar with that particular community organization. Coordination is when there was more of a target effort and a consultation with the group. So say, for instance, we have the Green Summit. Some of the people we work with in the Green Summit might come up, because they know that we do it in the month of May, and they might decide that they want to just participate in an effort. Say, for instance, when you go in a commercial district, you might see signs that say that they are supporters of the, that they're great supporters of the Green Summit, so you might see it in their window. And then we have the collaboration, where we talk about these are the people who meet or speak regularly. They partner and they might divide up responsibilities. There might be resources that they get, and they also do these 2 things, communication and coordination. So this is what it looks like. Like, what is this? This is the social ties that we have with each other. The larger the circle, the more you will see that coordination, that collaboration, and that communication together. And so, hit the next slide. And so there were 3 levels collaboration was level 3. And so that was like the highest level of interaction. And the reason why I'm picking this is so that you can actually see who really was the organizations that sort of bridged or brokered within the network through these categories. Can you go back? Education, community well-being, housing and commercial real estate, public policy and organizing, public spaces, community image, and the arts, and economic and workforce development. And as we look at these different categories, one I just chose were like the top 5. The top 5 brokers that connected with each one of these different domains, such as education. And so that you can kind of see, who are the people who were engaged, and these were some of the NCP partners that did this. So for education, Intergenerational Growing Power was actually a #1 collaborator. They collaborated a lot within the NCP network. Our Neighborhood Times came in 2nd. Juan Diego Community Center, they came in 3rd. And the South Chicago Neighborhood House and the Knowledge Hookup. Now, what's really interesting about this is that as you look, you see South Chicago Neighborhood House, which unfortunately has closed. So this gives us something that we really want to think about in the future. How do we help some of the organizations that are in our community that might be going through some challenges to keep the work that they're doing? And then we have for our community well-being, we have our Neighborhood Times, number 1. And we have the South Chicago, once again, Neighborhood House, Clarice and Associates, the Southeast Environmental Task Force, and the 4th District Police Department and CAPS Department. Each one of these has such a different focus, but they really contributed to the well-being of the community when you looked at it. And then we have housing and commercial real estate. We have, once again, our Neighborhood Times. Okay, are you surprised to hear this, Dan, who was the editor of our Neighborhood Times? And the 10th Ward Alderman, Clarice and Associates, McCaffrey Interest, and the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce. And it sort of makes sense because you're going to probably read the newspaper to find out what real estate is available within the community, and you're going to have to go to the alderman to find out. And if you want affordable housing, you're going to give Clarice a call. And this one is for public policy and organizing, South Chicago Neighborhood House. Interesting. Now, when you think about that, when it comes to organizing, they had to collaborate. They had to collaborate with the community to stay afloat because they weren't getting paid. You know, they were really using the resources and bringing it and managing it within the space. Our Neighborhood Times, Calumet Stewardship Initiative, the Southeast Environmental Task Force, and McCaffrey Interest. And then for our public spaces, community image and the arts, Clarice and Associates, and that probably came from our building community through the arts. That was a project that started simultaneously with the, from the second into the third phase of the NCP in the community. And with that one, our Neighborhood Times, South Chicago Neighborhood House, Southeast Environmental Task Force, and South Chicago Art Center. Now, I know a lot of you are like, well, what sculpture is that? Well, this sculpture was actually made by Roman Villarreal, and he was commissioned to create the first sculpture for our Steel Mill Workers Park that will be located on 87th Street at Lakeside, and it will be in bronze. And it represents the steel mill workers and their families. And so this is a really great opportunity because with the NCP program, it's about our relationships that we have with each other so we can say, hey, you know, we have some artists right here. Because it's so easy for someone to bring an artist from around the world and have them, you know, create something when we have the talent right here. Not only did he create this art, but he was also a steel mill worker. So look for us in the spring to have the unveiling of this event. This is something for us to look forward to in the future. And in terms of our economic and workforce development, our Neighborhood Times, because you had to find some place to go look for a job. McCaffrey Interest, Clarice and Associates, 10th Ward Alderman, and the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce. And the reason why we put this, because I had talked about it earlier, about the opportunity that Safe Passage has brought in terms of people being able to get employed in the community. Okay, so real quickly, I did have some reflections about all of this, and I just wanted to talk a little bit quickly about the strengths. Some of the strengths is our ability to come together when there's a crisis. The issues around safety, when we were bringing the YMCA, the Youth Safety and Violence Prevention Program, Ceasefire, Safe Passage, the 4th District, and the Chamber of Commerce to all come together and figure out how we can deal with safety in the community. The other one was environmental work, and it seems like we had like the largest group of C3 leaders. These are our green leaders. When you looked at, you know, who's doing environmental and green leadership here in South Chicago. And also with that, and our whole environmental work, we had the Southeast Environmental Task Force, Calumet Stewardship Initiative. trees are beautiful. We had the Green Summit. We had the International Growing Project. We had the Bush Homeowners and Tenants Association. And we also had the South Chicago Arts Center with their community garden. And also we have the arts as our ability to integrate the arts in all of the domains of community development, whether it's education, whether it was environmental. We had that opportunity to make sure that the artists had a presence in all of those things to get that information out. In terms of the arts, well, you've heard them. You've heard the testimonies from the Arts Center and definitely from Brenda and the things from that's going on in the Steel Mill Workers Park. In terms of the weakness, communication and technology, okay? And we, sometimes we're getting a little bit of a denial, but there definitely is a digital divide in this community. And we're working on that, and we're trying to figure out how we can work better in getting technology, having a portal, having streams of communication with the community so we all know what's going on in the area. Mm-hmm.
In that regard, Jackie, we've started a new website, Spotlighting Southeast Chicago, which links most of the things we've talked about here tonight in a way that you can go to the site, find things out about the arts, other community organizations that are working in the area, and you can link directly to them from that site. So it's kind of a central location that'll enable you then to branch out into much of what we've talked about tonight. Spotlighting Southeast Chicago.
Excellent, thank you.
And please contribute to it, because we probably are overlooking things that we're not even thinking about that you may want to recommend adding to it.
Thank you.
Southeast Chicago.
And then we have opportunities. I think one of our biggest, well, we should talk about the threat, but one of our biggest opportunities is that tourism is something that we really should be looking at here in South Chicago. When I look at how the city operates, for some reason I feel like, we have people just driving over the Skyway and they're missing the greatness of this community. And I think because, of course, the Blues Brothers, right? And then our Women's of Brewster's Place. Thank you, I forgot about that one. And then also we have, environmental tours. Some of the greening that has happened in this community has been phenomenal. The bike paths that we have, that we can participate in. The architecture of the community, just going up and down Commercial Avenue, and the churches. Just beautiful churches. We have a national shrine of St. Jude right across the street. And so if you look at it in terms of that, and the other opportunity of our youth and getting them engaged in what we do, because we did actually have youth from Germano Millgate give tours, and the same for the students at Epic High School. So getting our youth engaged and really looking at South Chicago in terms of tourism would be something that would be amazing for the community. In terms of our threats, I would say that it's just one little thing. If you notice when we were telling the story, you notice that there were some people missing. There were some organizations that were missing. And I would say that as we were doing a lot of this work, I think that one of the things we need to think about internally and externally is the succession of the workers in this community. We have to prepare ourselves when we lose leadership. 2 years ago, we lost a lot of leadership. We lost organizations, we lost leaders in different organizations, and when that happens, and say they're the only ones that know about NCP, how do you keep going forward? So we have to really think about how we have those conversations and make sure that we kind of do things in double, and that we make sure that people kind of come together and introduce them to what's going on and tell our story. And, because South Chicago's got one of the best stories, I think, to tell. And that's it. For all you tried and troopers that stayed tonight, I want to thank you so much for sharing this. Please tell people, some of the things that they missed. And in terms of this MDRC research, if you want more information to see how your organization fared in this, if you did the survey, you can give me a call and I can get that information to you and I can share it. And I think you'll be really surprised at some of the great work that you've done. I want you all to give yourselves a great big hand. Are there people that want to make any announcements or any comments? Please step on forward. Here we go.
I live in the Calumet Heights area and I'm in the 7th Ward, but I swear to God, I live in the South Shore and I live in the 10th Ward. I'm just sorry. Hi, my name is Nubia Patah. I've connected with everyone. Sarah Ward actually helped me get an A in a finance class at DePaul in my master's program. I walked in her office and I was like, I need help. I needed some 990s. I had no clue what 990s were other than a number. She broke it down. Any DePaul alum in here? Okay, good. Oh. She did better than my professor, I just want to say that. She got me an A, she helped me, and she was so wonderful. So I've connected with a lot of organizations here. Currently, one of the many things that I do, I am the board member vice president of Yoga Care. We offer yoga classes over at the Chicago Community Health Center, 91st and Exchange. We're a nonprofit. We asked for a $5 donation, but no one's turned away. You should have saw me when I had 4 quarters one day. Went in there like it was $1,000. I dropped it and got my chi in order. So I want to pass out some flyers. The wonderful thing about this location, we offer classes on Thursday evening, 6 p.m. to 7:15. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:15. The classes are bilingual. Oh yeah, when I introduce myself, I be like, hola. It's wonderful. It's a very diverse atmosphere, which is intriguing. I had a lot of African American women ask me, do you speak Spanish? And I'm looking at them like, what? I said, no, Austin. They said, well, you keep talking to them. I said, talk to everybody. I don't care. I would walk up to that table if I thought I could get a conversation. It's important that we engage. My other job is a substitute teacher. I've been able to take breathing exercises into the classrooms. Had the security guard come into my classroom with 3rd graders. I'm like, what? He said, I thought they tied you up. It was so quiet.
Great.
So it's amazing. We must engage at all times. And South Chicago has a yoga class. I'm gonna walk around past the South, check out our website. We just did a soft launch. It's wonderful. So be a part of it. Here's some information. I'm gonna come around. I'm Nubia Patah. Thank you.
Anyone here?
So if anyone's interested in learning more about the programming that we're planning on doing in about South Chicago Arts Center, you know, right? Please feel free, fill out your information, give your information, your email address, and I will either email you or I will go visit you, and I'll leave some business cards as well, okay?
Thank you everyone so much. Thank you to our Safe Passage workers and family who helped us today serve our food. And I hope everyone enjoyed your night. Look forward to meeting you again in the new year. Merry